I want to thank the chairman. I want to thank all the witnesses for being here. I also want to take this opportunity. It's probably going to be the last time that General Dempsey testifies before the committee. I want to thank you for your dedicated service and for the service of your family. And I know, General, that when you appeared before the committee on July 7th, I was actually the person who asked you about, there had been floated some views in the press at that time that Iran was pushing for lifting of the resolution on ballistic missiles and the resolution of arms, which we now know are in the agreement at 5 years and 8 years. Just to be clear, when you came before the committee then, you said under no circumstances should we relieve pressure on Iran on those issues. So was it your military recommendation that we not agree to lifting of those sanctions?
Yes, and I used the phrase "as long as possible," and then that was the point at which the negotiation continued. But yes, that was my military advice.
Thank you. I also wanted to ask you about an issue I know Senator Ernst had talked about, and the Iranian cyber activity. And a number of years ago, we saw that there was an interruption of Iran's nuclear program through some other cyber activity, I think was reported, called Stuxnet. And that was reported in the press, I believe. In this agreement, according to paragraph 10.2 of Annex 3 of the deal, the United States is actually obligated under this agreement to help strengthen Iran's ability to protect against sabotage of its nuclear program. It might be hard for Americans to believe that we would agree to help Iran protect against sabotage of its nuclear program in light of its prior intentions. And General Dempsey, I wanted to ask your opinion on that. Do you think it's a good idea for the United States to help Iran actually protect its nuclear program against sabotage?
I hadn't thought about that, Senator, and I would like to have the opportunity to do so. I will say there is, back to the cyber question that was asked earlier, I think next week this committee and the Senate will consider some cyber legislation that we've been eager to see passed for some time so we can get ourselves better protected.
Well, when we know that Iran continues malign activity on the cyber front, the idea that we would agree to help them protect its nuclear program against sabotage, and I assume, as I read this language, that that would also obligate us to inform the Israelis, inform Iran if the Israelis were undertaking any kind of activities that might undermine its nuclear program, at least if we're going to adhere to the plain language of this agreement.